People just do not get the actual size of the USS Enterprise, the fictional size, of course. If you were standing on the harbour preparing to board the biggest submarine ever built, the Typhoon class, you would be in absolute awe. And that is because you're actually standing in that is because you're actually standing in front of something that is real. You know, it's not a fictional spacecraft, and you're not just looking at like a little 1/350 scale model of the Enterprise. You would be standing in front of the biggest submarine in the world, and it would blow your mind. I was watching a documentary the other day on YouTube, a 1 hour documentary about that submarine, and it's just, just unbelievable. Okay, so here's the point. Here's the point, and it's part of the mission of what I'm doing with building this 1/25th scale model of the Starship Enterprise, because just one of the nacelles, the warp engines on the ship in the fictional universe, one of those is longer than the Typhoon class submarine, and it's somewhere around about, so it's about the size of a Typhoon class submarine, you know, like one engine. Okay, so if you were in some kind of space dock preparing to board the Enterprise, you would see these enormous engines, two of the size of the Typhoon class submarine there, with the enormous saucer section, and then the secondary hull underneath. The secondary hull, by the way, is not as long as a Typhoon class, and I think the Typhoon class has got about 4 levels on it, maybe 5, I'm not sure. The secondary hull on the Starship Enterprise has got 10 levels on it, so it's not as long as a Typhoon class submarine, but it is deeper. Okay, so this gives some idea of the fictional size of the Starship Enterprise. Sometimes in the comments section, I get comments like, you know, because I'm building this model so big, it's the biggest in the world. Okay, the comments come in saying, why? You know, like, what? Why are you building this so big? Why not just build like a model that you can just actually put in a room, and not have to find a hangar bay to store it in? And this is part of the reason, because, you know, I have a great passion for this original ship, as do I hope you can still hear me, because there's an aircraft just taking off over there, twin prop aircraft. Yeah. Hey, I've just got to say, I'm feeling really smug with this new mic that I've got, and it's got the dead cat on it at the moment. It's a little bit windy here. So anyway, it's part of the reason why I'm building it this size, because, you know, we see the models of the ship, and they're all great. There's some fantastic, awesome models. And I think in the motion picture was when we first truly got an idea of the size. You know, that kind of that slightly overly long glory tour around the refit before the shuttle docked. And there we got like a you know, size of the ship, because in the TV show, all we ever saw was like of it going past this way, or coming towards us, or doing it. We never truly got a feel for the size of this thing. So that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it this size. And another reason is because it's just mad to do it this size, and I love that. When this is finished, when it's on display, I'm just gonna love kind of blending in with the crowd that hopefully come to see it. When they walk through the doors and just look, you know, just walk under that 1/25th scale saucer section, get up close, and then see the scale figures that are in it and the rooms and all that kind of thing, and suddenly realize the size of this ship. So this is the front segment of the 1/25th scale warp engine that I'm building. And there are two other segments to go with this. It's absolutely huge. And in the previous video, I said I was going to show you the finished engine. But as I'm building it, and because of the realization, the full realization of the actual size of this, the real, you know, in the fictional universe of that enormous submarine, my thoughts are that I want to build, I think these nacelles would have their own auxiliary control room in them. In the motion picture, no, actually, it's not in the motion picture. It's in some of the fan fiction stuff. We see these nacelles being brought in with like shuttle pods to be, when the ship is under construction, to be placed on the support pylon. My thoughts are that with the size of this thing, it wouldn't need those shuttle pods. When the engine is not activated, there would be an auxiliary control in it, and engineers would be inside, and they would be able to actually guide this thing into position onto the support pylon with their like millimeter precision accuracy. So I'm going to do that for the next video. This is a mock-up, by the way. So in this mock-up, I'm going to build the auxiliary control somewhere, probably somewhere down here at the bottom of the engine, away from the main function of the warp stuff inside the engine. Also, you know, access corridors. I also feel as though there will be like a transporter room in there to beam the engineers onto the ship, onto the engine, and also maybe like a docking port, just in case for some reason, I don't know, that the transporter might be down. It will have both transporter and manual docking facility. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. You know, because again, this is why I feel as though people do not get the size of this ship. You know, people are seeing these warp engines. You know, when we get that like 1/350 scale model, and even some of the bigger models, we're seeing these warp engines as kind of almost like little, you know, like a size of a pen or whatever. But they're not. They're huge. They're absolutely huge. Okay, see this part here? I'll just turn that to the camera so you can see it. This part here, this half, is the size of the hangar deck. You know, when we see that kind of curve of the hangar deck with the clamshell doors, this here is the size of the hangar deck. So the full depth of just this part here with the underneath is twice as high, or you know, twice as deep as the hangar deck if it was this big circle here. The hangar deck actually is at the back of the ship where it goes more narrow, and it takes up like 1, 2, 3, something like 4 decks of the secondary hull. So this thing is like 8 decks, really. Let me know what you think about that. This part here that I'm building at the front, it was a white bucket from a paint shop. I had this idea to get a white bucket so that it resembles the smaller model that I made, which you can see here. Here's the smaller model of the warp engine. And as you can see, I've kind of built the 1/25th scale version of that. So yeah, in the real world, in the real universe, it's a white bucket. But in the fictional universe, what is it? Is it a I don't, some plasma enhancer, a buzzard collector? I think we only heard the term buzzard collector in The Next Generation. I don't think we heard that in the original series, in the same way that we didn't hear the expression warp core in the original series. It was just, you know, you never heard Scotty say, "Captain, there's a warp core breach." No, didn't happen. There was no warp core on the original ship. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you can remember a single episode of the original series that mentioned a warp core, let me know in the comments section. Anyway, the thing at the front, I'm not going to call it a buzzard collector. The thing at the front is under construction. There's a lot more work to do on this yet. As you can see, I'm just making the framework. There's a lot more of these things to go on, and then it's going to be covered with, I don't know, some kind of translucent material or something. Anyway, I just wanted to touch down on that. The main point of this video is, why am I building it so big? And I've answered that. If you have any more questions about this build, again, that is what the comments section is for. We're building a fantastic community now, getting some epic comments and epic feedback, and also some epic ideas. Thank you for your ideas and suggestions about the build. It really does, you know, I have a very definite, clear vision of where this build is going. So I'm going forwards. And then sometimes a suggestion will come in that will kind of just like edge me into a slightly different and better direction. Some of your suggestions are taking the build in a better direction in many ways. So let me know. Let me know. This is the biggest build of the Starship USS Enterprise ever made. This is history, folks. And seriously, I'm just going to be open and honest with you. I need your help. You know, I've just taken on this big studio, this huge studio, because I believe that it's going to happen, but it's costing me a fortune. You know what I'm getting to? Support me on Patreon. It's like $5 a month. That's like a cup of coffee a month. If you're a Star Trek fan, come on, get on board, get behind this. Support me on Patreon. I really need your help. We're 271 patrons at the moment. I have this dream, this vision of getting that up to at least 430, the number of the crew of the original ship. Okay, I'd love to welcome you on board personally, if and when you sign up. So that's it for this video. As always, I hope the video finds you well. Thank you for watching. The subscribe button, pull the bells, ding the dongs, and all that kind of thing as usual. And I'm so excited. I'll see you soon with the next video. Bye for now.